Welcome to the Class Business Podcast. I'm Chrissy Monaghan, your host, and today we're joined by Andrew Spackman, the founder of Ingenious Gifts and a judge for the Class Business Awards. Andrew supports independent makers by helping them get seen, share their stories, and grow their businesses. I'm really looking forward to this conversation, so let's dive in. Andrew, it's amazing to have you here today on the podcast. For everyone that's listening online or watching on YouTube, tell everyone who you are, what do you do, and where do you do it?
Thank you, Chrissy. So my name's Andrew. I'm the founder of Ingenious Gifts. We are a curated marketplace, champion small handmade makers throughout the UK. I'm actually Cambridgeshire based, but I support makers throughout the UK. And I help them get seen, as well as help them have a place that they can list their products as well.
And so tell me how did this business journey start? Like, what sparked your interest in the creatives?
Well, initially, I set out. I always wanted to build something creative online that I could. To help other people sell products online as an online store. So back in 2018, at the time, my ex-wife was diagnosed with a brain tumor. And it was at that point in time that I kind of for years, I've always dabbled in freelance stuff and tried to go down the entrepreneurial route. But I've always hid behind a laptop, hid behind a phone, something. I kind of wanted to build something behind the scenes. And I knew that that's just not how business works. And it was at that point, that was a turning point. I thought to myself, life is just too short. You just need to go out there and get these things, just chase your dreams. And it was harder than I expected. The road from there was pretty rocky. And cutting a longer story short, I've suffered from issues of alcohol all my adult life, and it kind of went down a really dark place over the last sort of between then and 2 years ago, and I kind of lost everything. I ended up at rock bottom. I had this kind of business that I had pieced together, but didn't have the confidence to do anything about it. And it was at that point, a moment clicked. And I thought I had two choices. I can chase my dreams and stop having other people's opinions judge what I do in life, or I could let it destroy me. And I chose the more productive route, and I swapped booze for books. I worked really hard. I've won a business award since. I've read over 24 books in the last 2 years. I co-parent. I've been divorced, and now I'm, I think, 840 days sober. And it kind of led me down to this route of actually helping other people is kind of what I get up in the morning for. You have your whys as why you do things in life and stuff like that. And I believe it's I feel like I've found my purpose, and it gives me incredible joy to motivate and get up in the morning and do things like that for other people. So I don't look at it as much now as I think I pick things now, and I try and pick things a bit like this podcast. Anything that brings me discomfort, I'm going to grow out of. Anything that kind of and this is why I love the this whole being part of the awards is incredible for me, because I was one of these people that didn't think I was good enough for an award. And it wasn't until I come across the wonderful Emma Hewitt from my SBS win. She helped me understand the bits in my business that I couldn't see. And it was just it was just so clear afterwards. Actually, that is the main reason I want to enter, because just talking about your business has incredible value. I think it's just as important as actually either winning an award. Taking part has incredible benefits personally. And in the end of the day, really, what you think about your business and what you think about yourself is one of the most important things, I think, and what helps me in my journey. So
This is so fascinating.
yeah.
Like, so you've been through a lot, and obviously, yeah, when you were saying that you chose the path of like the doing, because like there is only really two paths, isn't there? I always say this is either you could do nothing and just, like you said, let it take over, or you chase your dreams and you chase your ambitions. And I do believe that entrepreneurs like yourself and me, who you do just keep going. Like, it is that thing where you're just like, well, if I don't do this, then what will I do? And is it because we want to serve people, we want to help people? Because it sounds like, for me, that's what you're focused on. It makes you get up in the morning. It's that whole passion piece. But it's choosing to do that instead of doing nothing, because we could all quite simply do nothing.
Like, absolutely. It's the easiest thing to do.
It is the easiest thing to do. And I say it to my clients all the time. I was like, well, you could do it or you could do nothing. Like, you have the choice.
Absolutely.
And we have to pick our, as I say, pick your pain. And the pain to entrepreneurship and success and building impact is a path that not many people choose to do. So you're in like the top 1%, as it is anyway, because lots of people don't choose to do that. So I'm fascinated. But so where did the idea come to create a platform then? Because you could have helped people in different ways. Is it that you thought, I know you got a background in IT, web, is that what you thought, well, that's where I can serve people best?
Initially, so I've always been creative. I've always I've always been a creative person. And I picked something that I found incredibly fascinating. Handmade stuff I found incredibly fascinating. But also there was still a little part of me that thought, maybe I can do this and just not have to be seen. Maybe I could do this where I provide a platform, a service that's, commission-led, subscription-led, and I could just answer emails and stuff. And little did I know what actually is involved and how hard it is. Even then, when I decided what I wanted to do, I still wasn't confident enough that I could. It just felt like this dream that was always ever going to be a dream. And until I decided, actually, what's the worst that could happen? What's, when you, and I think the most powerful moment for me is when you do lose everything, or when you do go through these hard times up and down in business as well, you get to the point where actually it's like the saying, today is tomorrow you worried about yesterday. It's incredibly powerful to know that actually it can't. I've been in worse places, so why not go for it? And why not? And I took it to extreme places in regards to, okay, well, what is the worst case scenario? And the worst case scenario is just like flatlined. Do you know what I mean? That is tomorrow's not promised, so everything could always get worse. And even when I started to feel like I was a failure or I wasn't good enough for this, I always put back, oh, actually, it's not. Failing is like fuel for growth. It's like, that's where you learn. So it's like a win-win. You fail, you learn, you win, you learn. It's this whole journey of self-education that's just amazing. And and I think it's that was my main turning points in figuring out exactly what I wanted to do. And then when I actually built the platform, I felt like, okay, well, what are my clients' struggles? What are my makers' struggles? And it wasn't that their products aren't good enough. It wasn't the fact that, you know, the pricing, for example, makers struggle with the pricing in regards to a lot of makers aren't confident enough to price their products at a certain level that's going to make them money. A lot of them aren't confident enough to share their story. There's a whole subject around confidence, and I know how hard of a struggle that is, which then fuels me to help. It's a bit like someone struggling up a hill or mountain. You know how hard it is. You give them a helping hand. And I think as you go through in business as well, it's like it's so much easier, more rewarding to help others that you've walked their path, or vice versa. You're going in the same direction. And no matter what small business you're in, the struggles are pretty much the same. So yeah, my marketplace is evolved. It's no longer kind of just focused on selling or listing products. So in the last 18 months, I've brought out a magazine that I use to help support my makers. I've just launched a set of digital screens that go out into real places to help tell their stories. And I kind of do the story-led video and filming. So I'll go on site, we'll have a chat about their business, I'll film some B-roll footage for them and things like that. And I think it's helping others to achieve things that they feel like are unobtainable, or they struggle with the confidence side of it, I think. And yeah.
So how did you, so obviously you built the platform, how did you get, and I assume that how did you get your first clients, like your first makers? Were they just listings, or how did that come about?
Oh, that was incredibly difficult, because I tell this story to everyone that are like, in regards to the example I use. It's like being, would you go to a party if you knew you were going to be the only guest there, and things like that. So trying to get someone onto a marketplace where you've got no sellers, no one knows about you. It was difficult. I mean, I can't imagine how many messages and outreaching emails and stuff I sent out must have been thousands and thousands, and just kept doing it repetitive. And so initially my business model was just like, sell for free. It's 12% commission. There's no risk. I'll do all the work. So I did all the work, and I still do a lot of the work, but no one really kind of like was putting any effort in because it's free. They didn't need to. I was doing a lot of it, and it slowly built up from there, really. And some of the makers that I've got on there have been with me since day one. And yeah, I'm truly grateful for them trusting in me and just sticking by me, because I guess, when you've got something in your head and you believe in it, but you're kind of trying to convince others that they can't see what you see in your business.
It's a vision.
But yes,
the vision.
Yeah,
it's trying
absolutely.
to get them to buy into the vision. And so, and then obviously, so people come on board. And then how's the business model changed? Because you said when you first started, you were doing this. What's it changed to now?
Yeah, so there is like the core foundations of the business is the marketplace, but it's so much more than that. For example, sellers can just register to have a store. It's subscription based. There's 3 plans available. There's a basic, standard, and a premium. And then there's also like growth opportunities, partner opportunities, where sellers can pay extra to have on-site filming. It's the filming that kind of is the main engine that feeds everything else. So let's say I went and filmed a maker's story, and on site filming them make stuff. We have a chat about their story, etc. That then feeds the magazine, it feeds the landing page to the website, it feeds what goes onto the screens in public places, it feeds YouTube Shorts, it feeds the channel. And the YouTube channel is actually, so every episode that goes onto the YouTube channel also goes to a handmade channel on the streaming service, Roku streaming service. So that gets streamed across the whole world.
Oh, wow.
So it is a case of like, yeah, it's the main engine is the content, the story, because I kind of realized actually the power in everything is you. You are your business. There's no other person like you. I mean, there can be thousands of different candle makers, but there's only ever one candle maker like you. So the most important thing about you is you and your story. No one else can replicate that. And so I think that's where I've chose to go with my business is focus on you, what you make, why you make it, and try and get that out to as many people as possible, because that is the gold bit of your business, and a lot of people don't like talking about. I mean, I still feel uncomfortable about opening up on my story because I once felt embarrassed about it. I felt like it was a weakness. People judge me based on my history. And I think once you start going past that, not caring what anyone else thinks, just as long as you know that your actions and what you're doing makes you a valuable person, then, you know, the amount of questions I ask myself before coming onto this call, do I wear this hat or not? It's like, it's incredible how much pressure we put on ourselves. And the only reason I actually wore it is because I bought the hat out of an emotional purchase. So I see the hat. It reminded me of my childhood. It reminded me of the story of Super Ted. And I thought, I want that hat. And that's how my maker's items, you know, someone could resonate with an item that someone's made, not just the item, the way they made it, or something could resonate. But most purchases, nearly probably all of them, are emotionally led.
Oh,
and
for sure.
Yeah.
So no, I'm loving this. The stories of like what you're doing for the creatives and for the makers. So how did you become a Theopatita small business owner? Because I know they do the shout outs. Like, what was the strategy? Was there a strategy behind it? Because obviously that's how you met Emma. Because I know she's one as well.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I never even for a million years thought I would enter an award. And it was one of my makers, Christy, from the Soil Wax Village. She put me onto the award. Said, "You'll do really well. You should enter this." She's been selling with me for like since day dot, and she's a brain tumor survivor herself. So her story, I went and filmed her story, and that's on YouTube. That's quite a powerful story. And so I thought, I've got nothing to lose. So I did it. And I did it every week. I set an alarm on my phone, 5:00 every Sunday, every week for 5 months. And I didn't miss one. And it got to the point where sometimes I was thinking, why am I doing this? You know, it's been 4 months, 3 months, whatever. I just kept doing it and do it. I just don't give up, just keep doing it. And I just got a message one week, and I just couldn't believe it. And the thing is, it got to the point where I was doing it I've been doing it for so long, it was just habit. rather than thinking, actually, no, I'm going to give up. So yeah, one piece of advice: never give up. And since then, that's opened up so many doors for me. I mean, I met Emma through it. We're talking now as a result from it. You know, there's only so many. It could just be one conversation, one moment can open up or change your future completely. And even if it's a case of entering an award, can change how you feel about yourself. Even if you don't win the award, just entering it. I mean, moments are, you should never give up on anything that's going to have potential growth for yourself.
Well, the fact that earlier on that you said that you did a lot of cold outbound, like messaging people, DMing people, said to me that you were persistent anyway, because most people won't even do the cold outbound. So doing that, and then obviously doing it for 5 months, yeah, it does take... it's consistency, isn't it? And I like the way you said it just turned into a routine. Every, alarm went off and it's time to go and see if we get through. But and the opportunities that spin off from it, I've seen. Emma keeps telling me I need to do it. So she's like, set an alarm. I just haven't got there yet. Not on your bit yet. I've not got to that bit. But I can imagine that it opens up the doors and lots of contacts, because it's every year, isn't it? You can get to go to the event and then you can meet more people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And like I say, it's not just what it opens up as the opportunities, but also, when I first went, I stood at the back of the room and I still didn't quite feel like I was worthy of being there. But then the second year, you're slightly further in the room and you've got more confidence because you've had the year to grow in yourself, have conversations, have things that are difficult to have, and you grow as a person and you start developing that way. So it's not just, I don't look at it as opportunities from a business perspective, but I also look at them as a personal perspective and personal growth. Because I always now I set goals. I set goals frequently and I set them high, because I always think that if you put yourself, if it's uncomfortable, then it's good.
It's not easy going into big rooms like that, or even like networking events and so forth. I did one recently in February. I got a vlog which goes out on YouTube. And I went to an event on my own and I literally went down and sat right at the front because I wanted to make sure I could see everything and everything else. But it takes confidence to talk to people, because if you're flying solo, which I was for that event, because usually you might meet a buddy and then you buddy up with people. But what it did actually force me to do is talk to people that I don't usually talk to, because obviously I was in a situation where I didn't know anyone. And so, like you said, it does take confidence to do that. And I did that one. And after I did it and I put it on the vlog, I was like, now I've done it once. I know I can do it any event that I go to, that I have the confidence to go in and speak to people, because it's not easy. It's not easy. And lots of people, like you said,
no.
Yeah, they might not even go because they're that worried about attending events, because they're worried about the whole thing. So no, I totally understand what you're saying there. So just going back to people now, obviously listing on. So do clients come to you now? Like, do makers come to you, or do they still come inbound? Like, how do you bring people now onto the platform?
Well, here's the thing. I'm still struggling up this mountain, but I kind of like, I don't outreach nowhere near as much as I used to. But what I do now is I just focus on bringing value. So I have a plan. I have my business plan, but I don't outreach as much. I basically put out there as many stories and as much value as I can for other people. I'm a firm believer of now, I think you work I'll work to bring value to others, and then the rewards will come later. It's a bit like, harvesting later, sowing your seeds now and harvesting later. And I think it's a case of I'll look after people first, bring value, and then
it comes back. It comes back in the future. It comes
back. Whatever you put out there comes back. And I think, whether that's positivity, value, gratitude and things like that, which I think is a massive, it's been one of the biggest additions to my life. I think it all just comes back to you in abundance. And I think we're all capable of having anything we want. And I'm just basically focused now on helping as many people as I can, but at the same time, keeping my business going in the right direction. Doesn't have to go, slow and steady wins the race kind of thing. So no, at the minute, people generally come to me. I've capped it, and I've curated it, and I've capped it, and I've done that so that, because I've spent so much time putting makers' products on. For example, I had one seller, handmade cards, wonderful cards, and I think it was the Friday, I onboarded her. I worked all weekend getting like over 200 of her products on the shop. And then on the Monday, she changed her mind and pulled out. I think she didn't. Yeah. So there's been so many times that I've kind of like done lots of work. And it's not about, I think, selling your stuff on a marketplace. It's not about quick wins, and it's not just, it's not just about a quick sale. And I think some people would go on to a marketplace to look for a quick return rather than a relationship kind of style. So kind of like more of a relationship as opposed to just using you as a selling platform. But so I kind of like, I pick who I work with, and it does allow me to focus a lot more of my time on people who are ready to grow their business.
Yeah, the right people. I suppose it's in like, you've just gone through that whole growth stage, isn't it? It's like whenever you start a business, there's always a bit of hustle, like you were doing, DMing people, outreach. Like I've done that, of course. Everyone, when you're growing, you've got to get it off the ground, haven't you? You've got to get people knowing what you're doing. And then after you like suck a lot of sweets, as I call it, you figure out, I don't really want everybody. I want the right people that I want to work with. Because like you said, you want a long-term relationship with the maker, and you obviously want them to buy in. So it's a long-term relationship. And so, it's just all part of the journey, isn't it? And you don't get there without going through this. Like,
no,
this is just part and parcel of establishing.
Absolutely. A lot of the conversations I have with makers on site and chatting over a coffee, and I'm still having words with myself about it, because it is difficult, but it is having that self-love and that respect for yourself to value what you do. And I think as soon as you start valuing yourself more, and you won't feel so awkward either putting your prices up or telling people no. It's okay to say no. I never thought it was okay to say no, especially when you kind of like messaging so many people and think, I'll just take anybody. But it's not about that. It's kind of like, and as you grow in business as well, you change as a person, and then that relationship evolves. And I think that's very important value.
It's all part and parcel of the journey, I would say. So you're going to be a judge for us at the Class Business Awards.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm really excited about having you involved in the project. What are you looking for in terms of the applications? Like, what sparked your interest, first of all, like being part of it? And then what are you looking for when people start putting pen to paper?
To be honest, what sparked me when I had the opportunity to come forth is, I mean, I like with things that we've mentioned before, I kind of I like to help people where in places that I've been, and I've felt I know the value of an award or what the process can bring to yourself as well as your business. But I think for me, what sparks my curiosity is the stories, the people's reasons why, and kind of like what I think the class-based. I mean, most of my education has been out of school. I had a terrible experience at school, and most of my education has come from self-education. So it's opportunities that these people provide others that I find quite admiring, and that in itself was a good reason to get involved. So actually, I love what people are doing for other people, and I think my connection with how I want to help others based on my story, it was a no-brainer. And yeah, so I shall be looking out for the passions behind why you do what you do, and yeah, mainly.
Well, you're definitely going to see that. There's going to be a lot of stories and impact, because that's what a lot of my audience will do. They're out there every single day delivering in communities, supporting parents, adults, and children every single day. So we're really excited to have you on board. And I know at the event on the 10th of October, people are going to want to come and connect with you and talk to you. If they want to connect with you beforehand, where do you hang out, as they say? Where do you want people to come and say hello to you?
I pretty much work. I'm available pretty much any time on social media. So you can find me at Ingenious Gifts on Instagram. Instagram's my favourite platform. I just find it the easiest to use. But yes, Instagram at Ingenious Gifts. Drop me a message, or and I'll be in touch.
Oh, so perfect. Yes, so I'm sure. Yes, on the old gram is easy, an easy way. It's funny how some people, I like Facebook. Some people like Instagram. I was just interviewing someone before who does TikTok. I haven't quite not mastered TikTok. I just put things out there, but I don't spend any time over there. I'm just the old traditional way.
I've not long used TikTok, to be honest.
Oh, I could imagine a lot of creators and makers are on there for sure. Anyway, it's been great to talk to you today. I found your whole story really, really fascinating, and I know like my audience is going to love to connect with you. Can't wait to meet you on the 10th of October in Birmingham. So thank you so much for being part of the awards programme.
Thank you very much.